Ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome back to the Gobcast, episode 80. A crazy episode number. Honestly, before we go any further, I just want to say thank you all for the love. Thank you all for supporting the show, getting us to 80 episodes. It's been a long road, and it's really awesome to be here 80 episodes deep and still pushing strong. You know, a lot of shows, they don't make it to 8 episodes. So thank you all for the love and support, and it's great to be here. Today on the show, we have a wonderful caller episode because I asked all of you guys about your worst psychedelic experiences. I want to hear about your bad trips and specifically the worst trips of them all. We got a lot of wonderful voicemails today. We have a guy who took a bunch of freeze-dried shrooms and somehow ended up naked in the lobby of his dorm. We have a dude who took a bunch of psychs and I believe they were shrooms, but I have to listen again, and he shit himself in front of his mom. We have a bunch of other crazy stories today. Honestly, I don't want to spoil too many of them. You can't blow it this early into the episode, but what I will say is we're in for a fun one today. And I'm also going to take a little time to tell you guys the stories of some of my bad trips personally. A bit of a twist on the caller episode. So make sure you guys drop a like on this one. Sub if you haven't already. Get comfortable. You know, grab your snack, grab your drink, grab your smoke, whatever you got. Get ready for the episode. And before we go any further, I want to address all the viewers who are wondering, how do I call into the show? I get this comment every day. People say, Goblin, I called you, you didn't pick up. How do I talk to you? How do I get on the show? And it's actually very simple. For those of you guys who are new here, all you have to do is scroll down below and check out the pinned comment. And in the pinned comment, in the comment section, the one at the very, very top from myself, there's going to be a link to my Instagram page. And all you have to do is go follow me on Instagram or Twitter. Both of those profiles will be linked. And check my profile. Any day you want to call in, wake up bright and early, hop on my Instagram, specifically the Gobcast official Instagram, at the Gobcast, and check out the story. If you're on your phone and you don't see a story from me with a phone number on it, then don't even waste your time calling, because I'm going to be honest, I don't listen to the voicemails on days that I'm not taking calls. I hate to break anyone's heart that calls in on off days, because a lot of you call in on off days. But all you got to do is check my story. I'll post the phone number. I'll post a topic, and then just hit my line, dude. It's that simple. We get hundreds, if not thousands, of voicemails a week. So listen, if I don't call you back, don't be discouraged. Don't get offended or take it personally. It's just so many of you guys call in and support the show that I can't call everybody back. But I don't want to waste any more time today. Episode 80, man. I want to hear about your guys' bad trips. Let's listen into the first voicemail of the day from a guy who ended up naked after taking some freeze-dried shrooms. Let's listen in.
Hey, I'm calling about a bad trip I had a couple of years ago where I ate some freeze-dried mushrooms and then ended up naked in the lobby of my dorm. The campus police had to come and pick me up and take me to the hospital. So call me back if you want more information on the story. Thank you.
I like this voicemail, dude. It's short and sweet. He got straight to the point. But before I even call him, two things. First off, freeze-dried shrooms sound far worse to eat than regular, fresher shrooms. You know, when I was younger, I don't think I ever ate them freeze-dried. You know, we would get them. There was definitely still some moistness in there, and we would just put them on bread and eat them like that. Nowadays, I feel like everyone just gets shroom chocolates or, capsules or little different forms to make it more tolerable. But, dude, freeze-dried shrooms sound gross, dude. Just powdered fungus all up in your teeth. And also, why is it so common that people take psychs and they just get naked? Is it a horny thing, or is it when people get hypothermia and there's supposedly they just strip naked? Is that the same thing? You just take enough shrooms and it's just they just pull their cock out. You know, it's a symptom of tweaking. Let's call this guy. I hope he picks up, dude. The last caller episode was kind of tragic. We did late night calls, and I learned a valuable lesson in that. And the lesson was, don't do late night calls, everybody. This guy might be tripping right now, dude. Answer the goddamn phone, dog.
Yo,
you're on the Gobcast. You mind being recorded?
Yeah, I got to make it back home first. Hold up.
Oh shit. Okay. You like need a minute?
Yeah, give me 5. I'm not very far.
Okay. All right.
Does that work?
I'll call you back in 5. Yeah.
All right, for sure. Sounds good.
All right. No, I like that. Yeah. I'll see you in 5 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
See ya.
Bye. Drive safe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Homie's got to make it home, dude. Listen, I guess 5 minutes to blow here. I'll tell you guys about some of my bad trips. When I think about today's prompts, talking about bad trips, I've only had 2 bad psychedelic experiences in my life. I've had like concentrate like moments of a trip that turn bad, but I don't define that as a bad trip. If it turns around, you end up having a good time. It's not a bad trip. You were just tweaking for a minute. But I've had one on shrooms and I've had one on acid. The one on acid was so significant that I haven't taken acid ever since. It was in March of, I believe it was 2021. And I was in downtown Chicago. I was in a hotel room. I was with my girl and we're sitting there and we both took these tabs. And like, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the confinement of the space, if we just weren't ready for the trip or what. But as they start hitting, these tabs are just way stronger than either of us expected. And I'll keep this kind of brief because homie said he needs me to call him in 5 minutes. But we take these tabs and they hit us really hard. And my girl starts tweaking first. She starts asking me. It made me uncomfortable as hell. It kind of sent me in a spiral because she asked me, she was like, "Oh my God, are we okay?" And I'm like, what? Like, what kind of question is that? That's like maybe the worst thing you could hear when you start coming up on tabs of acid that are stronger than you thought they were going to be. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean, are we okay? It hadn't quite hit me yet. Then all of a sudden, I'd gone over to the bathroom. I don't remember if I went to like take a piss or what, but I somehow ended up in the bathroom and it hit me really hard when I was in the bathroom and like everything around me just started almost melting. Like my perception of what was around me just got completely obliterated. I started feeling really uncomfortable and shit. And just, I've told this story on my main channel in full. And this is like the brief summary of it and also the drunk summary of it because we pregame all the caller episodes here. But, I'm in the bathroom just tweaking out. My girl's freaking out. I walk back out of the bathroom after just getting almost locked in and stuck in there. She's on the bed, like freaking out. She starts asking me, should we call 911? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? We have a bunch of shit in our room. We just dropped tabs. What do you mean call 911? Like, that's the worst idea I've ever heard proposed to me. So I start tweaking out. I want to go out to the balcony. I'm like, man, I need a breath of fresh air. The hotel room we have has a nice balcony. We're on a high floor in Chicago. It's a little chilly outside. It's March, but like, dude, the fresh air was going to hit. I knew it. She's freaking out. She's literally physically grabbing me, holding me back from the balcony. Like, don't go outside. Don't go outside. It's not safe out there. Don't go to the balcony. It's not safe out there. You could fall off the balcony. You could jump off the balcony. She was like completely tweaking out. Sent me in a spiral instead. But the real thing about that trip that made it a bad trip and made it stick with me, it wasn't any specific moment. It wasn't like in the bathroom or trying to go out to the balcony or anything. It was the feeling of dread that persisted throughout my body the whole time that had me like, wow, that's the worst feeling I've ever felt. I've never felt such a genuine like fear or anxiety in my life until that trip. And it was like, dude, I'm trying to think of how to word this. How bad this acid trip was, like how scary and stressful it was, outweighed how good my best trips were. Like, this trip was worse than my best trips were amazing, and that scared the fuck out of me. So after that, I transitioned to taking shrooms a lot because I still wanted the kind of psychedelic experience, but I was honestly terrified of acid. Call me a pussy, call me whatever, but that bad trip just fucked me up, man. I was like, I don't want to experience that ever again. So I started taking shrooms, which is ironic because anyone who either me in person or maybe you've watched my videos for years knows that my first ever shroom trip was horrible. And it was my first ever bad psychedelic experience, and it turned me off of all the other psychedelics. And we'll probably talk more about it later, but to keep it brief, I ate an eighth of shrooms my very first time. And typically, at least in my opinion, you only need like 2 grams to have a great trip. An eighth is a lot, but an eighth is like, I don't know why it is. It's like the standard dose that people imagine when you're just eating dry, regular mushrooms. And me and a couple of my friends, we each ate these shrooms. I literally went into a grocery store and stole slices of bread out of a sandwich, like out of a bread loaf, right? We just opened the pack up of like fucking Wonder Bread and just pulled 2 slices each out and walked out of the store with those slices in our pocket. And we had like a thing of peanut butter. And we just made shroom sandwiches and ate those. And that was the first bad psychedelic experience in my life, and probably still the worst, probably worse than the acid trip even, because I was just so unprepared for that experience. I mean, I remember I ate the shrooms, and I'm sitting there. We had no plan, first off. I threw my homie who wasn't planning to trip the keys to my mom's car, which we were driving around for the night. And I was just like, all right, I'm going to eat the shrooms and just sit in the back seat. And like, hopefully you guys figure out like where we're going today. And lo and behold, my homies didn't figure out where we were going that day. So I ended up, as we're riding around in the car, getting super nauseous. There was more to it than this, but eventually I ended up like super nauseous, asked my friends to pull over in this random neighborhood we were cruising through. And I just got out and laid down on this guy's fucking lawn. Like this random, strange, like house I've never been to, just dove onto the lawn and laid there. My friends are trying to get me up. They're like, dude, we got to go. Like, you're on a random guy's lawn. I'm like, no, I'm not going. And they can't go because, like, they're in my mom's car, you know? So it's like they can't steal my mom's car without me in that bitch. It was a critical situation that I put my friends in. And I'm very grateful to have had good people around me when that occurred. Because if not, I might have just been left on a guy's lawn, and it could have been a much worse trip. But, you know, alas, eventually I came back around to shrooms. After that experience, I pledged them away because I was like vomiting in this guy's lawn and sitting there tweaking. My stomach hurt. When you eat shrooms, you know, especially just with the raw actual mushrooms, it can upset your stomach a lot. It fucked me up. I'm sitting there cringing around this guy's lawn like, oh, fuck, you know, throwing up, tweaking out. Everything around me is moving. It's a totally different sensory experience than acid. Like shrooms... Acid, I think, puts, like, the best way I would describe it to someone who's never done it, acid puts, like, a little pattern over everything. So if you look at a wall, there's, like, imagine a little pattern, like, almost like a art over it or something, or, like, a arrangement of shapes that is, like, I don't know. It just looks like there's something over it. Whereas with shrooms... when you look at the wall, the whole wall is moving physically. It almost looks like a block of Jell-O that's vibrating constantly. It's a very different experience, and it just overwhelmed the fuck out of me. But eventually I came back around to shrooms. Those are my only 2 real, like, bad trips. Every other psychedelic experience I've had has been ranging from a decent trip to a really great experience, you know, which I'm pretty lucky for. But those bad ones stick with you the most, dude. Those bad ones fuck you up. All right. I think it's been 5 minutes. So, homie here, I mean, surely you better pick up the phone now, dude. Let's see. It's been like almost 10 minutes, actually. Surely he picks up now. Yo, you make it home, dude?
Yeah, I'm free.
Oh, nice. All right. Great. I just got done listening to your voicemail, and I'm pretty interested in your story.
Hey, me too.
Fill me in on this freeze-dried shroom trip.
Okay, so basically, Plug got like cheap-ass shrooms, right? I mean, relatively cheap. They weren't so cheap they seemed fake, but I went ahead and bought an ounce because I figured I could sell it. And since I had an ounce of shrooms on my hands, I was like, fuck it, I can take as many as I want, right? So
of
I weigh out a 3.5. I weigh out a 3.5, and it came out to about 3.2. And that wasn't enough for me for some reason, so I added another one on it, probably somewhere around 4 or 5 grams, right? Freeze-dried, no water.
Did you take a lot of shrooms prior to this?
I've had a few shroom trips, but not really that many. I just like wanted to go all out. It was Earth Day.
You just felt it that day. All right.
Yeah, dude, it was Earth Day. I wanted to connect with the planet.
No, I love that. That's fire, actually. Nature's beautiful.
So it is. So I went out to my local park, and I was sitting by the stream after I took the shrooms, right?
Okay.
I'm with a couple of friends. They wanted to leave because the sun was going down, but I was fucking shroomed out. I was trying to chill by the water. So basically, that's like kind of one of the last things I remember is that. And then it's like the trip really started.
And you had just kind of like blacked out for the latter portion of this trip after being at the lake?
is his girlfriend, okay? I was there, all right? I was
Oh,
the
fire. We
DD.
got a
I was
witness
driving.
account.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
was the driver. I was responsible, kind of responsible. But basically, he was in this, like, fucking trance state. He was like rooted to the ground that he was actually sitting on, and we had to drag him back to the vehicle. And he was like, "Arr, arr."
Like
Yeah, it was a
completely
good-
unresponsive?
Yes.
It was a good trip until they took me, until they uprooted me. You feel? So
You
I'm
were
in the
really
car.
connected to the earth, dude.
Yes, dude. I felt like I grew roots, and
Yes,
I was
bro,
watching the stream.
At this point,
Wow.
the sun had gone down. We had been there for hours, and I was like, we're literally going to get us fucking arrested if we just stay here.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like the come up, and I feel like I just kept getting higher, but I wasn't even like fully in control anymore. So I was in the back seat of the car. I was really vibing out to some music. Apparently, I was singing along to some JPEG Mafia.
Fire.
But yeah. Eventually, we end up sitting in a parking lot, and they're like, "Yo, you got to go back to your room, bro. We can't just sit in this parking lot the whole fucking night."
Well, his friend left after he peed himself because I was kind of like, he was also on shrooms and like he was having a good time until Kyle peed himself. So he's like, yo, I'm going to head out.
What the hell kind of shrooms did y'all take?
Penis Envy freeze dried.
Wow, it must have been a great batch.
Yeah, the thing was, I was not in a great mental state. I'd just gotten broke up with, so like that might have been part of it too.
Oh shit! You guys had a little dispute or something?
It wasn't us. It was another chick.
Oh shit! Okay, all right. Interesting.
I was fucked up off the first love, and then that shit happened. But basically, I'm in the parking lot, right? And then, like, apparently I pissed myself, and they're trying to get me to go to the dorm. So eventually, I'm like following them to the dorm.
Okay. I'm dragging him into the dorm. He tries to break into one of the other dorms, and I say, no, bro, we can't. And he's like, I don't know, 120 pounds. And I'm like, I can't, bro. So I'm dragging him into his dorm.
I think the night's over when I'm sitting down in the bed, and then all of a sudden I get this like wave of fear wash over me. You know the existential fear you get when you're on shrooms sometimes?
Yeah, it's almost like your like hair stands up, like you start tingling and shit.
Yeah, dude, I felt like something was deeply wrong, so I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as she opened the door, I pushed past her. I think I ended up like shoving her into a wall or some shit, but I pushed past her and sprinted down 4 flights of stairs in the span of like 30 seconds.
Oh my! It's like when you like let a cat out of the crate or something.
It was like all of a sudden I had turned into this evil being, and he just had to get away from me.
Yeah, I was gone. And then I'm in the lobby now, the base floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get my head back on my shoulders. And then I'm like, dude, I got to piss bad. So fucking lo and behold, I pissed myself again. And then I noticed, I'm like, dude, I'm wearing pissed on trousers, dude. I got to take these off.
You pissed in your shit twice?
Next thing you know, I'm fucking nude in the lobby of my dorm complex. I know half the people that are walking by.
And you're just standing down there butt ass naked, just like chilling? Or like, what are you like?
He was sitting on the floor for a while, and then eventually, I don't know, he kind of came to a realization of like, wait, what the fuck am I doing?
I realized I was cooked, but it was already too late.
It was already too late. I'm hysterical trying to say, guys, please don't call the cops. Like, I swear, guys. But the cops come, and he just ends up, sitting in the chair being like, I know, I'm just going to wait.
Yeah, I'm sitting. Okay, the cops come. I remember this part. I come back too. I'm sitting in the chair with my hands folded in my lap, and these cops come in, and they fucking know it's me because I'm the dude with no fucking clothes on. So they throw me on the ground. They actually gave me a bruise on my shoulder from throwing me from the chair to the ground. They're asking me all these questions, and I mean, I know my shit, so I didn't say a word. I was completely silent. They're like, what's your name? Where are you from? What's your major? All this shit. I'm silent. They're like, can you hear me? Do you know anything?
I'm like, guys, I'm the one giving them the information, and then I'm like, guys, do you understand what's going on right now? Like, can you not do this? And they're like, young lady, you need to stay away. Young lady, you need to stay away from him. He's a threat. And I'm like, he is not a threat. He's my boyfriend. And then they ended up pushing me back because I'm trying to, like, be there for him. And they're like, you can't, bro. You're not family. You're not married. Like, we got to take him away. Like, you can't come with us and all this shit.
So first they were going to take me to jail for public intoxication and public nudity, but they had EMS come because I wasn't responsive. So they fucking strapped me down to a gurney and had me wheeled out to the ambulance.
Oh, that's got to be a nightmare.
It felt like I was going to space. Like when we were traveling in the ambulance and like, dude, I don't know if the people that were handling me were actually physically disabled, but they looked so weird. Like their eyes were small and like, I don't know. It's really hard to explain.
Look like some mutants.
Yes, dude. It actually looked like I was in a Fallout game and there were some ghouls.
So you get strapped down, you get in this ambulance, and what happens when they take you to the hospital? How long are you there for?
So they told me that once I was okay, that they'd probably take me to the jail and book me.
Mm-hmm.
But I literally waited so long. Like I was tripping so hard. I was there for like 8, 12 hours, maybe even longer. And then they just left. They left me there. So the cops left me and my family comes to get me. All they do is give me a piece of paper saying the charges they have. Apparently, the charges never got pressed.
Oh.
The DA was like, I'm not dealing with this fucking tripping ass kid. Like, it's not the biggest thing to worry about in my city right now. So,
Yeah, they were like, yo, this fucking tweaker, dude. This he's going to be homeless in 2 years, bro. He's out here naked in the dorm room, dude. Fuck him. DA didn't care.
So they let me figure myself out, but the school was mad as hell at me, and I had like a couple hearings through that. But no, I came down. I was like, dude, I'm not doing this shit again. I'm not doing this shit ever again. So
wait, I'm curious though. When you went to the hospital, did they just leave you butt ass naked, or did they grab you some clothes? Like, what happened? When did you get clothed again?
I had to. Well, I wasn't allowed to go in because I'm not family. But his mom came and I got a bag of shit together and I had to take him clothes. So when we got there, he was just in like one of those gowns. And they had him as a fall risk. So if he stepped off the bed, it would like turn on all these fucking sirens.
Damn, they thought you were fucking nuts.
Yeah, they were afraid I was gonna bolt or hurt somebody, but no, I remember seeing this nurse and I was like, yo, you'll never believe what happened to me. And he's like, what? Like with this smirk on his face, like he knows I'm just fucking tripping. And I'm like, dude, I took all these shrooms and now I'm here. And we just both start laughing.
Damn. So, what was like in terms of the school repercussions, like what actually happened to you? Like how did they punish you?
So they were acting really mad because obviously they have to, but like, dude, I'm paying to win. They want me here. So all I really had to do was write an essay saying that where I went wrong and why I would never do it again. And then I had to, I was on academic probation for a year, but that's not like real court probation. That's like school probation. So I was fine.
Yeah. I mean, academic probation, you just have to get better grades, right?
Yes and no. That's what it usually is, but they were like on my ass basically. If I got caught for anything else, they'd have got me for like everything basically. So like I used like using your meal swipes, it's really easy to steal shit. So for a year I had to like slow down on that because I really didn't want to get expelled for just like stealing swipes.
Yeah, I mean, you made it. I'm honestly shocked that you were able to keep going to school. Like, that's crazy. That blows my mind.
It was really scary, but I had one of my professors explained it to me. They're like, yo, you're paying them so much money. They don't just want to lose you for that. And it's not like you're a risk. You're not going to do that again.
What about what were like the social repercussions of this? Like, did your homies walk past you and see this and shit, or like you end up on Snapchat, or like anything happen like that?
Yeah, I was really worried because we have like a story that everyone in the school can post to. I thought I was going to end up on that with my dick and balls hanging out, but as it turns out, no one got me. So I was
You
fine.
got lucky as hell. That's
The front desk
crazy.
workers, I got some looks from the front desk workers, but that's about it.
Oh, because they were down there to see you, right?
Yeah, they were the one that called the cops.
Oh man, they're never gonna forget that night, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You gave them a real fucking night to remember.
Dude, I gave a fucking story to my kids to remember.
Do you still take shrooms at all?
I haven't since then. That was like 2 years ago.
Oh shit! You think you'll ever go back? Try them again?
Not as hard as I did before. I made a promise to myself I wouldn't do that shit again and put like the other people in my life through that, because like at that point I learned it's not just me. Like I'm really fucking up everybody. So
Yeah,
I locked in hard.
When you end up cock out in the lobby of your dorm building, yeah, that definitely impacts more than you.
Yeah, you know something's wrong at that point. So yeah, haven't done them since.
Wow, you should have just worn the piss pants. Fuck.
I wouldn't be completely opposed to like trying them again in like 5-10 years, but like it's really not something that's on my bucket list after that shit.
Yeah, fuck no. Can't blame you. Can't blame you. You know?
I felt bad selling the rest of that ounce after I like went to the hospital off of them. I was like, yo, you got to be careful with these motherfuckers.
You started warning people like, yo, just take a little bit.
They thought I was gassing them for a better price, but no, dude, I literally went to the fucking hospital. Almost got charges.
Damn, well, next time you take some shrooms, bro, just take a smaller dose, maybe. Maybe like 2 grams will do.
For sure.
That'll do it. Well, hey, man, thank you for calling in and sharing your story, both y'all. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you have a good one. I'm a big fan of the Gobcast, and I love crackheads, dude. Keep that shit up.
Thanks, yo. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the support. You have a good rest of your day.
Yep, see ya.
See ya. Wow, dude. Fucking meet out in the dorm lobby. That guy got unbelievably lucky not ending up going viral on the internet. I feel like I see so many of those like college pages on Instagram. I feel like every school has one of those pages where it's just they post all the crazy shit. Bro really could have been on there with his meet out for all of eternity. Like that's fucked up. Everyone will see that one day, dude. You get married one day, 20 years after the incident, walking down the aisle, dude. Someone just airdropped your girl the video. Like, tough fucking luck, buddy. Time to explain yourself in the dressing room, What are you going to do? Next up here on the caller list, we have quite the voicemail here, and it's pretty long, but what really got my attention here was the end, where this guy tells me that after taking shrooms and going through quite the trip, he shat himself in front of his mom as soon as he got home. So let's go ahead and listen in. We're 2 for 2 on the shroom calls today. As I was listening through these voicemails, I listened to tons of voicemails to prep this episode today, and you guys seem to have a bad time with shrooms.
Hey, Nick, long-time viewer, first-time caller here. I was going to tell you about the time last summer when I went home to Seattle to visit my folks, and I decided one night to take like 4 grams of shrooms, and I started tripping real hard, so I left the crib, of course, without letting them know. Had my homies pick me up and just kind of had – it was a good trip.
Got to just sneak out the window, go link up with the boys, worry about the rest later. Fuck it. I used to do that so often, just leave without my mom, like ever telling my mom, that eventually she put alarms on every surface that could open in my house, bro. The front door, the garage door, all the windows, the back balcony sliding glass door. She had these motion sensors, bro, where if I left the house, it was over with. I would still fucking do it all the time because it's not like it would physically stop me from doing it. But then I would, it was very awkward, She would come home all mad at me from work and flame my ass up. And it was really bad, dude. If I snuck out the night before and then my mom had a bad day at work the following day, I was fucking it. I was in deep shit, dude. I was getting it real bad. All right, let's keep listening.
At first, but then I got stuck in this like thought loop because we past the spot I used to skateboard with one of my homies who passed away. So I got stuck in this crazy thought loop. I had never been stuck in a thought loop before. So the trip actually was very terrible. So I get home from tripping dick and having an awful night at like 2 a.m. and I was supposed to get up for my flight at 4 that morning. So when I got home at 2,
a 2-hour discrepancy between when he got home still tripping dick and his flight.
Still very much tripping. Both of my parents were awake and just like in the living room, and they were like, "Where the fuck have you been?" And I was like tripping, and I get an anxious stomach very bad. Like my stomach hurts when I get anxiety, and I guess with the mixture of the shrooms going on and the fucking anxiety from looking at my mom's disappointed face while I was tripping dick and having an awful trip, I literally just shit myself, like sitting, like I just, like diarrhea hot, like the kind of burning.
Why did he have to describe shitting himself? Like, why do you like really hot burning sensation? Like, is that what it feels like? Normally the cool times where you shit yourself, moderate temperature isn't too bad. It's just the hot burning ones,
Hot diarrhea, like just like literally shit myself standing there talking to my mom. As soon as I told her I was on shrooms, she was like, "What the fuck what are you on?" And I was like, "I'm on shrooms," and I just shit myself. So that was pretty awful. I also had a reunion for the rehab I went to the next day that my dad went to me with, like all the way in Arkansas. So we got on a plane together like 2 hours later.
You got a lot of anxiety built up, bro. You just walked into your living room tripping. Your parents are waiting for you, intervention style. You got a rehab reunion, and you just shat yourself. I mean, dude, tough couple days.
After I shit myself, and then he went to fucking we went to rehab reunion. It was awful. So yeah.
Oh, God. We're about to call him, but like, I just need to take a minute because the way that he so like vividly described shitting himself was really remarkable. Like the heat, the sensation that he described. I'm intrigued, dude. We're calling him right now. And like shitting yourself just seems like such like a nightmare. How do you get out of that scenario? What is the quickest exit when you shit yourself in public? Like at the crib, you shit yourself, that's a whole different beast. That's easy, bro. You just, I don't know, just change or something, go get in the shower. He might be shitting right now, dude. That's why he's not answering. Come on. Come on, Shitler, dude. Fucking answer.
Please leave your message.
God damn it. He didn't answer the phone. I'm actually really upset about that. Wow, that sucks. Alrighty, folks. Well, the pants shitter unfortunately didn't answer the phone, which, I mean, I guess if you're wiping your ass, you can't really answer your phone, so hands are a bit occupied. That's fine, but that's okay. We have a lot more people coming in today and calling in and talking about bad trips. The next one we have is a voicemail that shocked me for a number of reasons. This guy said that his ex-wife experienced some serotonin syndrome on a psychedelic trip, but she was taking lithium, which I thought that was a fucking metal. So, like, what are you talking about? I don't know. Let's listen in. This one sounds kind of crazy.
What's up, Godwin? Just saw your Instagram, and I wanted to call in, talk about bad trips. So a few years ago, and this is something probably a lot of people don't know, and I hope they do. If you're taking any sort of brain chemistry drugs, in this case, my ex-wife happened to be taking lithium, and unbeknownst to us at the time...
See, I want to pause right there because what do you mean your ex-wife is taking lithium? What is lithium? Like, do people take lithium? Like, is that something like you take as a supplement? Lithium pills. Let's look it up. Lithium pills are a prescription medication used primarily to treat bipolar disorder and other mood-related conditions. Really? Wait, I've never heard of this. It's actually fascinating. You just eat a little metal, dude. You'll chill out for sure.
If you combine that with any sort of
Who discovered
psychedelic,
that?
you're going to have a bad time. And in her case, she almost went full serotonin syndrome, started almost having a stroke. She wigged out, and then of course I in turn wigged out. It was just it was one hell of an event, man. But I definitely would like the opportunity to at least let it be known, if you're taking drugs like that, do not combine them with psychedelics because it can be very, very, very dangerous. But anyway, if you want to hear more details, give me a call back. I am out of work today at 3:30 Eastern time.
Should be good. Should be good to call him. Unless he got a little hung up with some additional work. Should be good. But, like, no, I got to call this guy because what are you talking about? Your wife took some lithium. What the fuck? Like, is it just you take a little hunk of metal, just pop it? Yeah, just don't chew on it. You know, it's a little hard. I hope this guy answers, dude. The pants shitter didn't answer, and that's acceptable. But this guy, it's like, all right, your wife's tweaking off the lithium, but surely.
Holy shit, it's Goblin.
Yo, you're on the Gobcast. You mind being recorded?
Absolutely not, man. How's it going?
Pretty good. What about you?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm actually shopping at Home Depot for some supplies.
Is it a good time to call right now?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I got my dog with me here too, but we'll fucking pop a squat here, man. I've been wanting to talk to you like for forever, man.
Why? I just got done. Sorry, continue.
I said I've been a big fan of yours for like forever, man. I'm probably one of your like oldest fans too.
Thanks,
I would definitely
dude.
be hunk.
I greatly appreciate the support.
Yeah, man. So what's up?
I just got done bumping your voicemail, and I have quite a few questions. You know, it sounds like you have a pretty interesting bad trip story. But first and foremost, when you say that your wife at the time is taking lithium, like, what do you take that for? Because I've never even heard of someone taking that.
So that's for like extreme cases of bipolar disorder.
Okay.
She had specifically, I believe, like I think she had type 2. I think there's a couple of different types, but yeah. So that's like it's one of the heavier ways to kind of treat that disorder. So,
and I mean that's just a metal, right?
Yeah. So it's a bicarbonate, but yeah, it is derived from metal, from what I understand. Yeah, it's the same thing.
I wonder how the fuck that works. Like, how does that treat? But that's so interesting to me. I don't know.
I've studied pharmacology for a while, man, but that's one that I never really looked in on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just crazy. But hopefully this makes the podcast, because I think people need to be like really aware of like what they're doing to themselves, like because her brother did the same thing and he has the same type of issue, and he didn't follow our advice and he ended up going to the hospital, and like it was pretty bad.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, bad trips can get real bad.
Don't mess with brain drugs. Any sort of anything that kind of messes with your brain chemistry. Stay away from it. And she'd actually just started taking it again the day that we took. I think we took 2 hits of acid I got from a buddy of mine out in Cali. He brought it back for us, and it was some pretty potent stuff, man. And it was pretty crazy. We're sitting out back on our porch and just having a good old time, fucking hoot and holler, and all of a sudden she went like that and inhaled because she, like she saw something scary, which she said she did. And she said that she saw like some demons and stuff, which like she never really claimed anything like that before, you know what I mean? Like, but she said that she saw like some crazy shadow people, and she started wigging out. She's like, can I smile? Like, is my smile okay? Like she was like getting ready to stroke out.
Yeah.
It was terrifying, man. So yeah. What else did you want to know, man?
Well, while you're sitting there and watching this happen as she starts having this bad reaction, what's going through your head? Like, how are you processing this? Because you took some acid too.
Oh yeah, dude. I was tripping sack, man. Like, and at first I didn't really understand what was going on. And then after a while it kind of hit me, and I looked into it. You know what I mean? But this was like after the fact. And so I did what any other normal person would do. I just started feeding her benzos, man.
No, that is the solution. That's probably immediately what would come to my mind too. Did it work though?
Yeah, dude. Of course it did. I mean,
great,
I always keep some on hand for like, I call it the eject button.
Yep.
And it's for that reason. I'm pretty well versed in tripping. I mean, like I was growing like psilocybin for quite a while, before you could like just buy shit off Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of a challenge to learn how to do all that. And at the same time I was doing like DMT extractions and stuff, but I got like pretty heavy into mycology for a while.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like I was like actually like cloning certain types of specimen and stuff like that, and it's pretty interesting.
You're really taking it seriously.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I had a whole fucking closet full of different types of like, different. I remember one episode you were talking about like Ecuadorians specifically, and like they're like psilocybin is psilocybin, but I come to find out like after doing some studying, like independently, that each one of those various strains, just like weed, they all have different effects.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty crazy. Like I would just give them away to my friends, you know what I mean? Because I don't believe in putting a dollar value on that kind of thing. But I would just be like, the only stipulation is you just got to tell me what the experience was like, and they would all come back with the same types of stories. Like the Ecuadorians were like really like crazy colorful, and there was Amazonians were like they fucked with time quite a bit, like you know what I mean. So that's pretty crazy. But yeah, she actually did one time. When we first got together, she and I had eaten a bunch of mushrooms that I grew, and she passed out, and we didn't know why. And
I've heard that before. I've heard people say they've passed out off shrooms, and I've never like comprehended that.
Yeah, like straight up collapsed, man. We were out camping, and we were getting ready to get in the car for some reason. I think we were getting ready to smoke or something like that, and yeah, she just hit the ground, and we thought it was like the weirdest fucking thing ever. But come to find out, it was because the lithium was messing with her, and those combinations. So like it applies to psilocybin. I don't know that it would apply to MDMA, but because I think that those two things operate on it. They don't quote me on this, but I think they operate differently on the brain. But
for sure,
yeah, man, it's dangerous stuff, and I think if people were really aware of that, it would probably save a lot of people from going into serotonin syndrome.
Yeah, I mean, in general, I think just the best way to, consider psychedelics is, I think if you take any sort of medication for your mental health, any antipsychotics or bipolar medications or anything like that, you just probably shouldn't do psychedelics at all.
Not at all, man. And especially like younger people, like I don't think they quite grasp that. You know what I mean? Like I know we didn't.
Yeah. I didn't when I was younger. I mean, luckily I was fine, but yeah. My friends didn't get it either.
Yeah. And unfortunately, like I said, serotonin syndrome is like a very real thing.
100%
from that. So,
yeah.
So that's, I especially appreciate you because you seem to be very, very serious about harm reduction, man. And I think that's extremely important.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I think
I go out and do testing and shit for people. Like when I go to festivals and stuff, like I have all my test kit out there and I put up a sign, like come test your shit for free. You know what I mean?
Well,
so,
I think,
good on
when everyone gets high, whatever they choose to get high on, you should just be able to do it safely and have fun. That's the most important part,
Yeah.
And
100%, man.
I think making a mistake, in getting high and not verifying your shit can be very bad. And people don't really realize that until it happens to them. And then they're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, man. It's like one of those things where it's like, you just can't trust people. Like even my best friend one time, he tried to sell me some Molly that was very clearly bath salts, and like he would make fun of me for testing my shit. And he came over, and he was like, "Well, I picked this up for you, because he called me on, when he was on his way. He's like, you want me to grab you up a gram?" And I was like, "Cool, yeah."
Yeah.
So in his eyes, I owed him $100, but he shows up with a bunch of fucking like you could just see through the shit, like a glass, and I was just like, bro, busted out the test kit, and we almost got into a fist fight over it in my living room because I wouldn't give him $100. I'm like, I guess he picked it up from some like fucking wook out at like a fish show, like in the parking lot. And I was just like, that was fucking stupid, dude. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah, he got what he paid for.
Exactly. And he was just like, well, you fucking said you were going to give me $100. And I'm just like, yeah, for MDMA, not, sorry, I probably didn't say that on your channel, but.
You could say the drug word. I mean, we've said far worse.
Yeah. Just bleep it out or whatever.
Yeah, say whatever you want.
But, well, shit, man. I think I pretty much said everything I need to say. It's great to hear from you, man. You're fucking awesome.
I got a couple questions for you still, actually, if you don't mind, because I want to pick your brain a little bit about the mycology stuff. When you bring
I hit you up one time about that. Actually, I sent you a message on Instagram, which I'm sure you get like a shit ton. And I'm just like, dude, I would love to like sit down, like talk to you about it in depth, like if you're interested, because it seemed like you really were.
Well,
So
I'm intrigued by that kind of stuff, and I mean, I want to pick your brain about it a little bit. Why do you think it is
sure.
that, like, what do we not understand about shrooms that causes those different effects between strains? Like when we
Man,
when we think
I
of
really
weed, there's
couldn't tell ya.
terps. What is the shroom terp? Like, what is that?
You know what? I really couldn't tell you, man. I mean, I do feel like there's an intelligence about them, and I think
Mm-hmm.
a lot of cultivators, they kind of understand. Like, for example, one time I did this, because I had like tubs and tubs and tubs of these things growing in my closet.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a lot of, time to kind of mess with it. So one day, I was getting ready to go to work, and it's almost like after a while it becomes like you're on call because you have to pick them at a very certain time, like when the veil breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they keep getting bigger, but they don't produce psilocybin anymore. So anyway, I'm like, well, shit. By the time I get back from work, these things should be good to go. And so I took one. They were the exact same strain, same conditions, but I put them in a different setting, and I put music on for one tub, and I left the music off for the other. And I come back, and the one that had music actually was ready to go. The other one, not so much. Pretty crazy.
Interesting. They
Yeah,
were
yeah,
fucking bumping that music. They could hear
dude.
it.
They were vibing, man. I put on a Lateralist by Tool, which I'm not like a huge Tool fan, but I was just like, yo, if anything's gonna fucking coax these guys out, it's gonna be this,
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man.
That's
So,
fascinating.
yeah, I mean, I did the same thing with like DMT with like people that would come over, and I'd say, hey, listen, I've got this really interesting thing for you to try, but I would have them breathe with me. Basically, I'd kind of hold the pipe for them, and when they come out of it, they would always say like they encounter like some weird entities of sorts. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they had no idea, like there was no preconditioned like, oh, it's supposed to be like this or anything like that. It was just
Yep.
that's what their experience was. So I find that extremely interesting personally. But as far as mushrooms go, I couldn't tell you. I mean, the only thing I really do know about them, I mean, they're mainly made out of like the same type of shit that like shellfish, like crabs and stuff. They're like hard shells are made out of.
Yep.
Like that's what they're comprised of. Like physically, that and water. But obviously, all the water is like kind of evaporated out of them most of the time when you get them. So that's also what makes them hard to digest too. By the way.
Yeah,
So,
they're not fun to get down.
Yeah, it's like
fun
eating
to
a whole
get down.
bag full of fingernails or something.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
same shit.
What is it? It's like
Your body-
keratin or something, whatever that is.
Yeah, carotene, I think.
Yep. Something like that.
Something like that, keratin. Yeah. Yeah, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, I couldn't imagine eating a whole bag of fucking fingernails or something and trying to keep that down.
God. Yeah,
But,
I mean, shrooms are just the craziest thing, dude. It's such
They
a
are, man.
fascinating drug.
Yeah, definitely. The episode we were talking about the Ecuadorians, it was cracking me up, and I was just like, man, I wish I could just fucking talk to them and explain this shit to them a little bit,
Yeah, they look so weird. They're so skinny, dude.
Yeah, have you seen the Enigmas? They look like brains.
I'm not.
Dude, look them up. They're fucking crazy, man. Like they look like brains.
Enigma
but they're apparently,
shrooms?
Enigma mushrooms. Yeah, they're psilocybin.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but they're a pain in the ass to grow, man. So are like pan cayennes. Those are like wood lovers or dung lovers, and then there's a couple other ones that like grow off of like wood, which I'm looking to try to maybe perhaps come out of retirement for a little while. I got the itch. It's been about probably 12 years or so since I've cultivated, but I was really into it, man.
Wow, I feel like I'm tripping just looking at this fucking thing.
Yeah, those things are crazy, man. They're supposed to be hella potent too, man.
Wow. What's like your favorite strain of shroom? Like, what's your go-to?
Oh man, honestly, they're kind of rare around this area, but I really like Liberty Caps. Like,
okay.
Especially because like by weight, they're some of the most potent strain out there. It's like they're usually really, really tiny. You know what I mean? But if you eat like 2 grams of those, it's like eating, almost 4 grams of like some regular Cubenzas.
Oh, yeah. I see these tiny little fuckers. I just looked them up. These are really small.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, but you can't get them around here unless you grow them because those are like, they grow in like Washington and like north of like where you're at.
Oh
So
shit! So you're saying I could theoretically go out into the woods in Washington and just find these?
oh, absolutely, if you know where to look. But you like people make that mistake though, and like they end up paying with it for with their life because
They eat
like
the wrong shroom.
oh God, yes, dude, it happens all the time. Mycology is like it's crazy, dude. Like you really have to know what you're doing. Like anybody that's listening, I don't encourage anybody to do that unless you know. But
Yeah.
one telltale sign of psilocybin in general is that when you pick it, it should almost immediately turn bluish purple, like a bruise.
Oh.
So, but there are a lot of different types of mushrooms that look almost identical. Like there's one called the death cap, and it looks like cubensis, but it's not. It's a fucking death cap, and it'll kill you. So be careful out there.
Wow. Is there like anything like if you eat a death cap, is there anything that can save you, or are you just fucked?
Not really. No, you're pretty much fucked.
Wow.
I mean, you got like you're on borrowed time at that point. So, I would definitely get to a hospital as quick as you can. I think don't get me wrong. Like I'm not an expert or anything like that on that kind of thing. I just know enough to know that if you're going to go foraging for mushrooms, you don't just go picking anything off the ground.
Yeah, you gotta discriminate a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
100%. You gotta profile that shit. Yeah.
Yep. And there's a lot of like books and stuff out there, and like a lot of information for people if they're like really interested in it. But don't just look at it and go, oh yeah, I saw that. And, even if it does bruise like purple, that doesn't necessarily guarantee that it is. But psilocybin is the only thing that actually, in nature, theoretically, should bruise like that, from what I understand. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a very very educational conversation, dude. I
For
think
sure,
I've learned
man.
a lot about mushrooms.
Yeah, man. Maybe next time we'll go into the DMT extraction process. That's a good one too.
Oh yeah.
Pretty interesting.
I love that. I think that is something I plan to do. I'm going to do a whole DMT episode in the future. So call in for that one too.
Oh hell yeah. I've injected that shit twice, man.
Wait, what do you mean? Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
You've injected DMT?
Well, I had somebody stick me with it. It's the only
Right into your bloodstream?
Oh yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, it's I mean, I was really, really deep into psychedelics for a while, man. And, they saved my life, man. I wouldn't be who I am without them. But DMT was one of those things. I mean, I just had so much of it that I was like, you know what? Why not? And so a buddy of mine who'd actually done it before, I was over at his place. We were making some music and shit, and came up, and he's like, well, I got some fresh spice. We broke it down with some lemon juice, and yeah. I didn't even look. I just let him stick me. And twice, the same thing happened. You can taste it in the back of your throat as soon as it hits your bloodstream. And I let out a little cough.
God.
It was literally like a little cough, and then fucking boom, rocket ship out of this world.
Where did he inject it at?
Gone.
Like, what's like the best spot?
Just like any other drug would be intravenously taken would be in the arm.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it was wild, man. I just remember, both times again, you taste it in the back of your throat, and it was like, like that, and then fucking gone. It was something else, man. But the thing about injecting it versus smoking it, I wouldn't recommend it necessarily because you don't really take a lot back with you. You know what I mean? You're out there. It's fucking intense, too intense, and then you come back and you're just like, okay. Both times I was covered in my own vomit too. That was, unexpected. So if anybody ever
you
gets
just
the idea to do this
completely
thing,
shut down when you inject.
Oh yeah, I was out.
something.
There was no sense of like you're instantly in the dome room. Instantly, you're gone. I was chilling there with Ganesh. It was fucking great.
Wow.
But yeah. But definitely it's not something that you can really do safely by yourself because again you could choke on your own vomit if what happened to you happened to me happens to you,
Mm-hmm.
So, definitely have somebody there with you. But like I said, I think it's better to smoke it because it gives you the ability to go there and still remember enough to bring back with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Otherwise,
that's
too
the whole
much.
point. No, you want to get something out
Yeah.
of that DMT trip.
Exactly. And so with injecting it, even at, 100 milligrams or 120 milligrams or even a little bit lower. Because I think if I remember correctly, it's actually a pretty heavy dose. But Straussman was injecting people with like way more than that. Those people, whew, man, I couldn't imagine.
Wow.
But yeah.
Shooting up DMT is just something like I couldn't even imagine doing that. Like smoking DMT is one thing. Shooting that shit is nuts, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I made sure to use a clean spike and everything. Like I'm not, like I said, I'm not real big on the whole idea, but I was just like, I've got the opportunity to try this in a safe manner. Somebody that knows how to inject stuff is willing to stick me with it because I wouldn't do it myself.
Yeah.
And because I'm not that much of a fucking degenerate, man. I got a career and shit, so it's like, I'm not out, shooting drugs all the time. But it was interesting, man. And again, it's something that I wouldn't recommend to everybody, but you got a set of balls on you, man. Go for it.
Wow, fuck.
Don't forget your space boots, man. Don't forget your space boots.
When I do the DMT episode, please call back in, dude. I'll be awaiting your phone call.
Yeah, man. Put my number in there so you recognize it, just in case I don't get through.
Wow.
But yeah, I'd love to.
Fucking shooting up deems, dude. That's wow.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can go into more detail about the actual experience, like what I can remember. But yeah, I'm definitely I'm interested in it for sure. Do you have any idea like when you're going to be doing that?
Oh, I don't know. Probably a month or so, give or take.
Okay, cool. Well, obviously I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, just peep the Instagram story. You called in today. You know where to look.
Yeah, man, for sure.
But
for sure. Well, I got lots of love for you, buddy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, dude. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your Home Depot trip. I don't mean to interrupt your
no,
your
I
outing.
was literally wandering around aimlessly, fucking talking about drugs all loud.
You walking past any people who are looking at you funny?
Oh, fuck yeah. What are they gonna do about it? Yeah, I'm over here talking about fucking shooting up DMT and shit. Who gives a shit, dude? What are they gonna do? Dogs fucking staring at me like, "Come on, dude, let's move."
Well, you have a good rest of your Home Depot outing, man. I appreciate the support.
You too, homie.
You have a good one.
Be safe.
Bye.
Bye.
What a fucking dude, man. Sometimes a lot of you guys watching this content that I put out, and specifically my main channel story videos, you probably look at my content and me, and you're like, wow, this guy's he does a lot of drugs. This guy's fucked. And then someone like that calls in. He's like, yeah, I was shooting up DMT. And like, then I'm that guy. I'm like, wow, I thought I did a lot of drugs. Like, holy fuck, man. Needles were a boundary for me. I would smoke nearly anything. I would snort nearly anything. But like shooting something up, like even the thought of it today, right now, as I was listening to him talk and tell his story, made me physically uncomfortable. Like, dude, I was literally shivering. I felt it down my spine, just this like, thinking about shooting up a needle full of anything. But DMT, already when you smoke it, you have a full out-of-body experience. So like, what are you trying to achieve by shooting it up? You're just going to space and never coming back? Like, that shit is crazy to me. That's unbelievable. And you know what else I kind of got reminded of as I was listening to his voicemail and his story there is, I said earlier that I've only had 2 bad trips, but I guess that was kind of incorrect because when I was younger and I took fake tabs of acid that were really 25I and I overdosed on them, that's what landed me in rehab for the first time, which those of you guys who have watched my main channel, watched the rehab series on there from 2017, that bad acid trip, that overdose sparked everything. In my head, I don't necessarily count that as a bad trip because it wasn't like I took acid and had a bad time on acid. I took what I thought was acid and ended up overdosing on 25I, fake acid tabs. And by the time I popped the tabs, and I even remember at the time I tasted them, People say that 25i tastes bitter. I don't know if bitterness is what I got, but I remember tasting the tabs, and that was weird to me. That was like, yo, I've never popped a tab and tasted it in my life. Real LSD has no flavor. It literally is nothing. You could drop a syringe of water and a syringe of LSD on your tongue, just a little droplet out of each. Legit, you would have no idea until like an hour later. It's like, am I sober? Am I tripping? You would taste nothing. So the moment I popped those tabs, I just remember like I knew something was weird, but I didn't think much of it, and I ended up tweaking the fuck out, overdosing. My mom called the ambulance and shit. I had a cardiac arrest in the back of the ambulance, which was a whole big thing. I don't even remember that part. I didn't know that until my mom told me. She's like, you had a cardiac arrest. And I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about, you know? But that was also my first, like, out-of-body experience. It was kind of weird. When I was in the ambulance during that time, when I guess I must have been having the cardiac arrest at the time, I saw myself, like, totally not in my body. Like, I didn't really see myself. I was seeing through the perspectives of all these different creatures. It's hard to describe for me because it's so surreal. But at one point I was a bird flying over a big forest. Like, I literally saw myself through, like, what I would imagine a bird would see. And then I saw myself, I was like I was on the ground. I don't know what I was, but I saw, like, I was in the forest. I was, like, on the ground. Then I saw myself through the eyes of, like, a different person. I saw myself, like, as like a soldier or something at one point. I just kept like my view kept morphing through all these different creatures. And I was sitting there like, when I think back at it, I'm like, was that an out of body experience? Was I just tripping really hard? Did I fall asleep and dream that? Like, I still to this day don't comprehend that experience, but it's like, that was a crazy one. That's also kind of why I don't even call it a bad trip. You know, I don't count it in my record book. But I had to mention it because I know if I didn't, I would get these comments from the OG viewers who watched the rehab series like, Goblin, was the trip that sent you to rehab not a bad one? I guess it was on paper. I don't really view it that way, though. You know, I actually think it was kind of decent. It was an interesting trip, to say the least. Let's go on to the next voicemail here, who is, this one is from someone. By the way, I just want to highlight, I didn't do this on purpose. I didn't specify anything about shrooms. I asked about bad trips, and all of these fucking voicemails today are about shrooms. Literally all of them. So take that as you will. I don't know. Personally, I think a bad shroom trip is probably easier to deal with than a bad acid trip, but I don't know. I think my rate of bad shroom trips is higher than bad acid trip. You know? Like, I took acid so many more times than I took shrooms and had a good time. Only that one real time I had a genuine badass trip. But all right, okay. Let's listen to this next voicemail. This guy took some shrooms while in the Marine Corps and got in some trouble.
Hey, Goblin, long-time fan here. I'm calling because I wanted to talk to you about the time that I took a whole shit ton of shrooms while I was in the Marine Corps waiting to get stepped out for popping on drugs.
Sounds about right, yeah. Yeah, sounds about right.
And out of nowhere, the whole platoon just started tweaking dick and balls and screaming at our sergeant because half of us were on the shrooms waiting to get stepped out. Give me a call back. I'm sorry for the briefness.
You know, I imagine this in the same way. Oh, I accidentally played it twice. I imagine this in the same way when I think of, like, people in jail doing drugs. Like, if you're, like, locked up in prison and you're dropping acid or shrooms, which I don't think many do, but some probably do, that's no fun. Or, like, when I look back at my former self, when I used to trip at school, dude, we used to fucking link up at 7 a.m. in the morning. We'd have one of our homies who had a car come pick us all up, and we'd fucking drop tabs in the morning before school and just go through the whole school day tripping balls. That's not fun. Like, when I look back at that, that's not something like, man, that was always a good time. No, it was never a good time. It was always kind of stressful. Like, it was fun tripping, but in the back of your head, you're looking around like, do these people know I'm tripping? And that never fucking goes away. I couldn't imagine being a fucking Marine sleeping in your bunk and you're tripping balls with the boys. Your career, your life's on the line, dude. You gave it all up to join the military. You could have gone to college. You said, fuck no, I'm shooting people in the Middle East, dude. I mean, more power to you. Let's call this guy, though. Imagine this guy's like still in the Marines. He's like doing a drill right now. That's why it's still ringing. He's getting his workout in. Come on, buddy.
The subscriber you are.
Listen, I'm going to say something right now, guys, okay? These past couple weeks, we have had a lot of non-answers, okay? I would like to kindly remind everybody of a really important aspect of this show. For every chunk of this that you see on camera, where we're talking to people, we're taking calls, we're doing the caller episodes, there's a ton of people that don't answer the phone that we end up just editing out. And this part we're not editing out because we're flowing right now. The episode's going good. But there is also a lot that you guys genuinely don't see. So please, if you're calling in, make sure that you do it on a day where you're just going to be chilling. We're going to be free for most of the day. I always post the window of time where we're going to be calling you too. And like, just make sure you're free in that window of time if you call because it helps everybody out. Makes the episode better. Yada, yada, yada. All right. The next person to not answer the phone, I'm signing their phone number up. I'm actually going to hit up all my debt collectors that bang my line, just give them that phone number. And you can live with that shit. And as someone who's lived with that for nearly, close to a decade at this point, it's not fun. They call me to this day. I owe $400 to PayPal. They called me this very morning about it. Okay. I accrued that debt when I was 19 years old. All right. I'm 26 now. They haven't stopped. It doesn't matter. But next up on the let's listen to this guy's voicemail. This honestly has nothing to do with the topic, but he feels lost in life. Let's listen in.
What's up, Goblin?
Hey.
So I kind of am not following the rules, but I just would like some maybe advice on what's going on in my life right now.
Before I even hear what's going on in his life, I just want to preface this by saying a lot of you guys hit me up and ask for advice, and I'm probably not a very qualified individual to provide it. If it weren't for this YouTube thing, I'm one of the most unemployable people I know. I have a fucked up criminal record. In fact, yesterday I was going through my old documents. I submitted a request to my local police department when I was younger to get all the paperwork on like my whole criminal record. It's 81 pages. They have documents of me talking about fucking trespassing, drug possession, burglary, fucked up shit. And if it weren't for this, I wouldn't get hired anywhere. I'd probably be fucked. I'd be flipping burgers, putting fries in the bag. So just know I'm probably not qualified to give you advice, but I appreciate that you think I am. And a lot of you guys seem to think so. Let's listen in.
Basically, I got fired from my job, and it was a good job, and
I've never held a job for longer than 8 months.
Like the oil field,
except for this one.
Anyway, long story short, I started smoking weed and shit, and I found that I can't find another job, and I'm fucked. I'm running low on money now, and I've been fucking door dashing just to try and fucking have any money, and that shit doesn't work. So I don't know. I'm just in a tough spot, and I wanted to see kind of what you had to say about it. I know it's completely off topic from what you're taking calls today, but I figured I'd call and ask. All right.
I mean, it sounds like this guy needs some input. Before we ring him up real quick, listen, the job market is very cooked right now. And I mean, I have a lot of friends who are in pretty precarious situations right now. A lot of friends who are having trouble finding work in all sorts of fields. And it's rough out there right now. But in general, you could just start fucking trapping. You could just immediately start selling cocaine or something. I just read an article the other day. Cocaine is the most it's surging again. So you can get some blow and just start flipping that shit. The U.S. dollar is worth pretty much fuck all nowadays. So who even cares? Anyone working a regular job, inflation is cooked. Okay, everything costs $1 million. Tariffs ruined everything. All right, the U.S. dollar is worth nothing. Every dollar you have should be going into a brick of fucking blow to sell to all your local fucking losers. Okay, every single one of them. Cut it yourself. Doesn't matter. Laxative, flour. I don't care what you use. Figure it the fuck out. And a lot of you guys might think I'm joking. And on one side I am. And on the other hand, the part I said about the US dollar is real. It's worth fucking nothing. All right. Our money's imaginary here. Deflating rapidly. We're Venezuela V2 pretty soon at this rate. If we don't figure out the issue with our currency. Listen, what this guy should really do, in my honest opinion, is just say, fuck it, dude. Just get like a couple roommates and like scrounge up your like $400 a month for your rent cut and go live in the middle of fucking Montana for $800 a month for a 3-bed, and you're good, dude. And just sell cocaine once again. All right, let's call him up though. You want some advice, dude? I'm definitely not. I'm also drunk right now, so yeah, I'm not qualified to provide this, but to hell with it, dude. I'll make your life worse. Let's do it. If this guy.
Hello?
Yo, you're on the Gobcast. You mind being recorded?
No, I don't mind.
Yo, I heard you need some advice or something, dude. I heard your life's kind of fucked right now.
Bro, dude, sorry, I'm a little nervous. My life's, it's rough right now. Okay, so I guess to start off with, I had this job,
Okay.
and it was a pretty good job, and it was in the oil field. Basically, I got told 2 different things by 2 different people, on what time to be there, and I ended up being late.
Mm-hmm.
And the supervisor went out and just fired me right on the spot, without listening to anything that I said about,
Really?
about the 2 people that ended up saying those 2 separate times. So anyway, that happened, and then my girlfriend broke up with me, and I've been dating this girl for like a year and a half.
How old are you?
And so I'm 19. I'm almost 20.
Okay.
So, and I've been in a weed legal state, and one of my buddies has weed. And so, I had just been like picking up from him whenever, I can, but now I'm like rapidly running out of money, and I'm like at a point where I'm quite literally door dashing to like try and pay rent. I don't know. And I really struggled to find a job, and I've really struggled wanting to find a job, because low key just being unemployed and being lazy and being able to get high all day is enjoyable, and it's fun.
You should just start selling drugs or something, dude. It sounds like that might be right up your alley. I mean,
Bro, dude, that was why I went to rehab. But like,
oh, okay.
I can't go back to doing that. So,
okay. Well, it sounds like there's a few, like parts of this, right? First and foremost, all right, you're way younger than I thought you were going to be, judging by your voicemail. You're talking about getting fired from the damn oil rig and your girl leaving. I thought you were like fucking 30. All right. At 19, at your age, the girl I was dating was the biggest whore I've ever met in my life, and a woman that I would never date again. Looking back at that age, none of the relationships I'd ever had up to that point mattered. And I'm pretty sure all my friends could say the same thing. You realistically don't even take it seriously until you're old enough to go to a bar with her, And then maybe like, dude, you're 19, you're so young. So the girlfriend part doesn't fucking matter. You're not at an age where you have to worry about it. Like you could just get a new girlfriend. There's plentiful at your age, But
Yeah, I got you.
in terms of the job part, I mean, that's a little more complicated. How much are you looking for a new job? Like, are you flinging out hella applications? Like, how are you doing it?
Bro, no bullshit. I've applied for over 100 jobs in the past, like, 2 weeks, which it doesn't sound like a lot. It doesn't sound like a lot, but you got to keep in mind, I've also been having to DoorDash
Yeah.
in the amount of time that I've been doing that. So I basically held up a full-time job doing this, and then I've applied whenever I've gotten home or before I come out and DoorDash. So I mean, I'm really trying. I'm calling up, like, you know, I'll call up like a few days later, or I'll send an email whenever I get back, and just try and follow up. But like, I literally haven't heard anything, and I don't know any more ins, which is, I don't know if you know anything about the oil field, but that from basically my understanding, that's kind of how it works. Is like, you know, somebody that works there, and then that's kind of how you get on.
Oh, you got to be tapped in to get into the oil industry.
Yeah, and I don't have any more people that I know of that are tapped in like that and can just find me a job. So I'm really like scavenging for one.
I mean, what other industries do you think your skills could transfer over to? Like, what kind of stuff do you learn doing that kind of work?
So, I mean, machinery. I mean, fuck. I don't know. It is kind of not something that I guess can cross over into like another industry. I have done like welder's helper before. Like right when I was 18, right out of high school,
Yeah.
I was a welder's helper. And so I mean that does a lot. I mean, I know how to weld, and I can do that pretty proficiently. And
I've heard welders do pretty well for themselves.
yeah, the pipeline welders do. They really do make a lot. They can make really good money if they.
You'd be one of those underwater guys, dude. You'd be going crazy.
Bro, I low key I would, but my problem is their lifespan. Their expected lifespan's like 30 or like 35.
Why? Is it really that dangerous?
Bro, yeah, it's really bad. Like, it is really dangerous. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Like, there's a lot of accidents that happen. Yeah.
Damn, I mean, fuck, go big or go home. You want to make some real paper, dude. Fuck it. Risk it for the biscuit.
Bro,
but like,
maybe I should. Maybe I should.
I mean, I don't know. You're so young that you can kind of just pivot, dude. Like, if you want to go do something else, you have time to like go to school or like train for that or like figure that out. Like, at your age, dude, I mean, still, even where I'm at, dude, I'm 26 right now, and a lot of my homies don't know what the fuck they're doing, and like, they're still young enough where they'll be fine. At your age, dude, you got years to blow, dude. Like, I'm not saying you should do this, but you could take 2 years to just eat Xanax every day and play Xbox and like be fine. Figure it out at 21. You know?
Yeah.
That's not saying it's a good idea, because it's not, but like, you like where you're at, bro, like, it sounds like you're just generally like kind of ahead of the curve. Like, none of my homies at 19 were like working real jobs that mattered and like thinking about that kind of shit. So I think like more so like wherever you end up, you have the right mindset, right? Like, you got your shit on straight. You'll be fine. I would say, I mean, hey, if the oil industry's all tight like that and you can't get in, that welding sounds like a skill you already got. Go for that. If you don't fuck with welding, I mean, hey, you're young enough to learn some new skills, you know, figure some shit out. And, I mean, if you need something to hold you over temporarily, DoorDash is there. It doesn't sound like you're at, you know, a super horrible spot. Like, you're still, is DoorDash paying enough for you to pay your bills?
Bro, honestly, no, not really. So because I work in, or I used to work in the oil field, I live in a camper.
Okay.
And so my camper is out in Duncan. And let me preface this by saying I don't have a truck. Every time that I've had it moved, I've hot shotted it. So I paid like $1,500 just to have my trailer moved from Houston to where I am now. So, but I am out in like the fucking sticks, and I don't have a truck to move it. And I could take a day off and, move it like 4 hours, into the city and be a little bit better if I could do that. But my rent right now is so cheap that I'm worried if I move, it's going to be too much to handle if I'm trying to DoorDash. Because like right now I drive more like just coming to the spot where I DoorDash than I do like actually DoorDashing. So I'm spending more money in gas and like stuff like that. Like I don't really buy any like food or drinks or anything. So like I'm pretty straight on that. So I don't know.
Fuck, man. I mean, you might have to honestly just start flinging out job applications at random places. Like go hit a McDonald's for a month and, flip some burgers and stack up a little bit of side money and then quit that and use that to at least hold you over to finding something. Because it sounds like, my understanding of the job market right now is from my friends, like it's fucked, dude. In pretty much every industry, it's fucked, right?
Oh yeah, it's good.
Like I have a bunch of friends who very different industry from you, but I have a group of friends who all became like software developers and like IT guys and that kind of shit. And they went to school, they all got all their little certificates and shit and got good jobs, and now they're all getting laid off right now and there's no new jobs anymore. And they're all fucked. And it sounds like that is like a pretty widespread thing in a bunch of different industries right now. So it's just like you are in the worst possible time to have to find a new job. Like honestly, it can't go anywhere but up. Like it can't do anything but get better, But like, damn, I would just start flinging off apps for retail jobs and fast food to hold you over, bro. Especially if DoorDash is costing you that much in like gas and shit. I mean, some of those fast food spots are dog shit jobs, but they pay, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I've really been thinking about doing it, but if you want the honest truth on why I haven't, it's just my pride. Like,
yeah, I get that.
I don't know.
I get that.
And like I will say like I'm 19, but I've never worked in like the fast food industry or like any retail.
Mm-hmm.
Like my first, I guess I've worked in retail, but like my first job was sales. For my parents owned a business, and so I did sales through them. And so like I have sales experience, and then I jumped straight from that into oil field experience. So it's just, I don't know.
Do you have a lot of car dealerships around you?
Yeah, I do.
Have you ever tried applying at those?
I guess I could. Yeah, I could. Like
you don't even have to apply for be a porter or something, bro. That was when I was younger. That was probably the most like legit job I ever held. Was when I worked at a Lexus dealership. They hired my fucking stoned bartard ass with like no background experience at all, and like threw me right on. Like all the other people they hire outside of even the salespeople are fucking degens, dude. Like. The fundamental, like, they don't really look for like on paper experience. It's more like you got to go in and interview well. Like if you can convince the manager at the dealership you're chill, he'll just throw you wherever. Cause like there's not many jobs at the dealership besides like the fucking IT guy that require like real training. It's just like, hey, do you have charisma? Go sell a car. Are you, a hard worker? Go be a porter. That kind of thing. I would maybe look into a dealership, bro.
Hell yeah.
And then you can move up to sales too. All like everything I saw when I worked at the dealership and the people I talked to that were like really in the car industry and had worked at dealerships a long time, they promote internally. Like when they need a new sales guy, a lot of the time they're not necessarily like, depending on where you go, obviously, but a lot of the time, like those kind of places prefer to just promote somebody within. So there's advancement opportunity there. And I had a great time when I worked at a dealership. That job was fucking lit, dude. Like,
yeah, I remember the stories that you used to tell about smoking in the cars.
I drank free coffee all day, dude. That shit was gas.
Yeah.
That shit was fucking lit. So, I mean, I think what you really need to do is just apply for jobs you're not even, like, you don't even think you'd get or, like, you're qualified for. Because that was what I did a lot when I was younger, and I would be surprised at some of the callbacks I would get, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Fucking.
I think I'll take your advice.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, you sound a lot more worried than I think you maybe need to be. You know, you're super young and you're young enough to figure it the fuck out. And I mean, you're already living on your own and paying your own bills and doing your own thing. And I mean, that's more than I think most of the people watching this your age can probably say right now, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it'll be all right, you know, and I wish you the best of luck in your job hunt, but you know, you should hit us up and update us whatever your next gig is.
Hell yeah, I will, man. Hey, I want to say thank you for having me on, and also, dude, I love the show. I love your videos. I love, dude, fucking crackhead, everything.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
It's all been great.
Thanks, dude.
All right, bro. You have a great rest of your day.
You as well. Good luck with the job hunt. See ya.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Bye.
Dude, I mean, honestly, when I listened to that voicemail, I thought that dude was going to be way fucking older, dude. 19 years old. I mean, buddy, at 19 years old, I was taking Xans until I pissed myself to sleep, dude. Like, I fucking... You're fine, buddy. You're fine, buddy. That guy doesn't have to worry about shit, man. Absolutely fuck all. We have a few more voicemails here, man. We have a couple saved up. The Marine guy didn't answer, unfortunately. The guy who shit himself didn't answer, but we got a few wonderful answers. We got the guy whose wife was taking lithium, which I learned from. The next voicemail we have here is someone who he specified drinking homemade alcohol he made from hand sanitizer and then taking a bunch of Benadryl. And that's... I have quite a few questions surrounding like what drove you to that decision. Why homemade hand sanitizer alcohol into the Benadryl? Like what's your recipe there?
Yo, Goblin, my name's Zan, and I was just calling to
Did he say his name is Zan?
tell you about the time that I drank a whole bunch of homemade like hand sanitizer alcohol and then took a whole bunch of Benadryl, ended up blacking out, tripping like crazy, and then woke up 2 days later in the hospital. Man, I had the cops in my crib. I was running around with the cops chasing me. It was fucking wild, man.
I'm not going to lie. The part of this voicemail that intrigues me the most, like, I don't give a fuck about the cop part of it. All right. What homemade hand sanitizer alcohol is absolute peak degeneracy. I remember in rehab, motherfuckers used to try to make that shit. We didn't have hand sanitizer on the unit or anything, but in the common areas, they had hand sanitizer that had alcohol in them. Kids would steal the fucking hand sanitizer and like sell it to each other, and that was a hot commodity on the unit. Okay, if you had hand sanitizer, the real shit with alcohol in it, you're one of the richest motherfuckers on the block at that point. It's kind of hilarious how many similarities there are between rehab and jail. Like when I talked to like Joel Blazer, the dude we just had on the other week on the show, he was talking about like the shit that they would transact in prison. It's like, dude, that's just like rehab. Like commissary, dude, we had that too. They had a little gift store. Let's call this guy real quick. If he doesn't answer, I'm leaking his phone number. So, you know, balls in your court, buddy boy. We've had one too many non-answers today, and I'm sick to my stomach. I also,
Yo, what's up?
Yo, you're on the Gobcast. You might be recorded?
Yeah, it's all good, man.
Yo, I just listened to your voicemail, and I'm honestly, there's a certain part of it that really intrigued me, and I got to ask you about it. You mentioned
which part?
Making homemade hand sanitizer alcohol, and like, what the fuck do you mean by that? Like, what did you drink?
All right. So this is gonna be crazy as hell, but you gotta let me cook with it, okay?
Okay, no,
Sorry,
yeah, get it cooking.
Sorry for the background noise. My dogs. Go ahead.
I don't even hear it. You're good.
So there's two different types of hand sanitizer alcohol. They have ethyl and isosporyl.
Yep.
Ethyl is a corn alcohol. That is what's in beer and vodka and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take hand sanitizer that's ethyl and you mix salt with it, it distills it and takes all the everything else out except for the alcohol. And then you just have this mixture left that you filter. It's just alcohol. And then you drink it. It's like fucking straight, like, fire water. It's crazy
It's like fucking
as hell.
Everclear.
Yeah, it's like some straight Everclear. But when I was in like high school, middle school, I was making that shit, and it was crazy. Yeah, I would
Do
mix
you
it with
remember your
like.
first time making it? Like, how did you discover this?
So I was in 8th grade actually,
Uh-huh.
and one of my friends, he's the one that put me on to you, and he was like, yeah, so you can actually do this thing I learned, and then he was like, yeah, if you drink it, it's like regular alcohol, and I was like, shit, let's do it.
Oh god, of course the fucking 8th grader who's making hand sanitizer booze is the guy who put you onto my content. That's fitting. Okay. So, all right, so on this particular day, you make yourself some hand sanitizer booze and you drink it and then you pop the Benadryl. Is that the order it went?
Yeah, so yeah, that's how it went. So I was drinking it. I made a good like a solo cup full of it. I downed
Uh-huh.
that. I was drinking it, and then I have a whole bunch of like tattoos and shit, right? That I did myself.
Mhm.
And this night, I did a whole bunch of those tattoos, and then at the end of the night, I was like, man, how can I make this night be a little better? So I took some Benadryl, and dude, no, it did not make the night better. I tell you what, it
Yeah,
made
I
the
can
night
imagine.
1,000 times worse.
So what happened after you took the bennies? Like, how many did you take
No.
even?
So at the time, I was like deep in it, so I'd take at least 700 milligrams each time.
Mhm.
So I think I took a gram that night. So I had that homemade Everclear alcohol. Then I have the gram of DPH. So it's a shit ton. It's a concoction of like fuck shit going in my body.
Mhm.
And then from that night, what I remember after I took it is I just remember I was like sitting on my bed and I looked at my grandma and everything was just fucked. And then all of a sudden the cops were there and I was like, what the fuck? So I started running from the cops and then fuck, where was I at? I start running from the cops and I'm running in circles and shit and then eventually they find me and then they just take me and I wake up in the hospital 2 days later and I'm like, what the fuck happened? And it was fucking wild.
What kind of trouble did you get in for this? I mean, obviously you crashed out in front of your parents.
It wasn't in front of my parents, it was in front of my grandma.
Oh.
There was no legal repercussions. And with my
Okay.
grandma, it was just more of like a sobering moment at the time because I was like 16, 17, something in that range. And ever since then, I haven't like touched it, like DPH, because my one of my friends came to the hospital and I was like, damn, he saw me like all hooked up and I was like, fuck, I'm in here doing all this dumb shit, you know what I mean? And then, so it was kind of like a life-changing moment for me and I've used that as a turning point. And it was dumb as hell, but it made some good out of it, you know?
Well, I hope you don't still drink hand sanitizer liquor, do you?
Oh, hell no. I'm like a grown-ass adult now. I got a kid on the way. I got a fiance.
Oh,
now.
yeah, there you go. Nice. Nice. Well, I was really intrigued by the whole concept of this because when I was in rehab, I remember kids used to get drunk off hand sanitizer, but I never understood how they made like actual drinkable liquor out of it. I've always been
I won't
intrigued.
go into the specifics, but yeah, it's like you add another ingredient and then you filter it, and yeah.
Wow. Well, thanks for calling in and sharing, man, and hopefully you stay away from the Hat Man and Benadryl and hand sanitizer alcohol from now on.
Yeah, thanks for calling back, man.
Of course. You have a good rest of your night.
Yep, you too, man. Peace out.
See ya.
See ya.
God, what a fucking... That's the most goblin viewer shit ever. Yeah, dude, I was in 8th grade and my boy put me onto your videos and they got me drunk off hand sanitizer. Like when I imagine, like, what is a total stranger who stumbled upon my channel imagine my average viewer as? It can't be that far from that. The demographics actually show we're a pretty old audience. I mean, old in my terms. 25 to 34 is actually my biggest bracket in terms of age, followed by 18 to 24. But I think the 18 to 24 bracket might be a little bit skewed because obviously I think people who are under 18 lie about their age. I did. All our friends, none of it. You don't sign up for a website at 12 years old and say, I'm 12 years old when you fucking sign up. No, you know. I was born in 1982, dude. What the fuck? Like, figure it out. Man, we're going to do something new in this caller episode as well. You know, listen, you guys comment every week. You guys leave a lot of comments, and I've been meaning to start interacting with the comments more. You know, I read them all the time, but I want to actually address some of them on the show because I think it'll, you know, just be a fun time for all of us. So everyone who so far has any thoughts on the calls you've taken today or just anything in general, dude, I don't know, you can comment, say what you ate for breakfast. Drop it in the comments. Let me know, dude. I would love to hear from you. But the first comment that we have to read this week is from Chango Bango 1622. And Chango Bango says, make these 2 hours long. In reference to the caller episodes. He wants the caller episodes to be 2 hours long. Immediately followed by Asylum Patient saying, don't make these 2 hours long. He said, fuck that. I like Asylum Patient. Listen, let me tell you guys something, okay? I see a lot of you guys comment about the caller episodes and you want them to be longer, which is great. That means you like the episodes. I love to hear that. But let me just explain a little bit about what goes into making the caller episodes. These episodes, doing the calls, is so much more time consuming and it takes way more prep and production than the guest episodes. When we sit down and we go for like 4 hours with a guest, we don't have to do 4 or 5 hours of prep to sit down and do that with a guest. We walk in, clean up the set, point the cameras, and the majority of what you see on film is just the work we put in. Obviously, there's editing after, but the lead up to that, it doesn't take all day to prepare for that. With the caller episodes, when I post a topic, we get thousands of phone calls, guys. We get literally thousands of you calling in and leaving voicemails. On my Google Voice account right now, I have 9,730 unread voicemails. I just looked. Unread. And that's not because I ignore the majority of them. That's just the ones that I didn't have time to listen to every week that have slowly stacked up as the months and months have gone on of doing these caller episodes. For every hour and a half caller episode that you guys see on this show, it takes me genuinely probably 5 to 6 hours of prep time because I have to filter through all these calls. And listen, please don't get offended by this, anyone watching. 9 out of these 10 calls are fucking horrible. And they're just not things that you guys want to hear. I get a lot of voicemails. For example, today's topic was bad trips. A lot of the voicemails, I'd say probably 6 or 7 out of 10, are people just like, yeah, I had a bad trip on acid. Call me back for the story. Elaborate on that, man. You know, I try to post on my story along with the number and tell people how to give the story. But of course, you know, not everyone reads that. It is what it is. It's human nature. So I have to filter all those calls. You know, I don't just skip around and play 2 seconds of it. I try to listen in full and think like, oh, does this guy, you know, tell the story well? Is this an interesting story? Is this something we'd like to hear on the show? There's a ton of work and time that goes into this caller episode. Also, even when we do pull a lot of good calls, as you saw today and last weekend in general on the caller shows, a ton of people don't answer. We edit out a ton of people that don't answer. I mean, there's a lot of times where we leave it in, like you've seen some today, but also there's been a lot of times where people don't answer a few in a row, and we have to edit it out and cut and take more time to gather, you know, more phone calls somehow, post again or pull some of the newer calls that we got while we were filming. And it's very, very time consuming to do these episodes. So what I will say is, listen, I understand in a dream world, these call episodes would be 4 hours long. But dude, if we had to do a 4-hour episode of taking calls, it would probably take us legitimately 12 hours to prepare for it. And I don't have that much time in the day. I want to go home, smoke weed, eat dinner, and go to bed and fucking live my life, you know? I don't have time to listen to 5,000 calls a day, unfortunately. But the way I put it is like this, you know, listen, this is my kitchen and I'm the chef, dude. Imagine I invited you over for dinner and I said you didn't even have to pay for it. And I prepared this beautiful dinner for you here, the Gobcast dinner, and I present it to you. And you clear your plate, you eat the dinner, and you look up to me and you say, that wasn't enough food. And do you know what I would say to you? I'd look you dead in the eyes and I would say, go to McDonald's, you I don't want to hear it. I honestly don't care. You didn't even pay for this dinner. This is the dinner. I worked so hard on this dinner. You weren't even here when I was cutting all the vegetables all day. I don't want to hear it. No, get the fuck out of my kitchen, dead ass. Don't come back. That's what I would say. That's what I compare it to, genuinely. So, hey, listen. Enjoy the show, ladies and gents. We'll probably do some longer ones in the future. But listen, like 3-4 hours, even 2 hours, like, dude, that's a lot. We put a lot of love into these caller episodes, guys, legit. Like, we really work hard. I'd say these ones are way harder to do than the guest episodes, just in terms of, like, overall time investment and prep. These take some time, man. Next up on the list, we have Lil Bueno SBM. I feel like Goblin feels bad, so he takes boring calls sometimes. Sometimes people say it great in the voicemail, and then it gets to the phone call, and it is what it is. You can't predict that. Also, I think it's just different strokes for different folks, man. Hey, some people, maybe they find a certain call boring. I remember the one universally loved call was the guy who walked in on his Legos being smashed. I don't think a single person viewed that call negatively. Then we have some more of the debatable ones, like the guy who kept insisting he's never hit his girl while being arrested for doing that. That's more of a debatable one. But at the end of the day, I mean, if I think a call is boring personally, I won't even put it in the list. I mean, if it's made it onto the show, I thought it is or is going to be a good call. That's the way it goes. And also, I mean, sometimes we get bad calls and cut those too. There's been plenty of times where I speak to somebody and it doesn't make the show. It's just, hey, it's part of it. I don't want to give you guys a boring phone call or a bad phone call. So I think every call I put on here is good. And if it wasn't, I generally wouldn't put it on the show. Next up, Jaden1120. We have... This is a crazy comment. He commented this on a recent, this is the Orson episode. And he said, I really like the sort of content, Goblin, where you talk to intelligent people and not like actual brain dead people. Although sometimes those are hilarious. Listen, dude, we don't have an IQ test to come on the podcast, But Orson was probably, I agree with this comment in the sense of Orson is probably one of my favorite episodes we've ever done. That was just a whole big bucket of wisdom. Like that was sick. It was so cool because there's other guests on the show. I won't say a lot of them, but there's plenty of other guests on the show where like they're already online social media figures, and maybe you guys have heard from them on other platforms and you're familiar with them. But Orson, the episode that this was commented on, was totally one of one. That guy has no social media presence. I just happened to meet him by chance, and he's just the fucking GOAT. So that was really like, it was just a blast from the past hearing of his experiences and enjoying that kind of stuff that we won't get to hear anywhere else, It's like sitting down at Grandpa's house after, taking a couple shots of whiskey and, maybe smoking a blunt on the porch, and, it's time for him to tell you about his World War II stories. It reminded me a lot of that. I used to do that a lot when I was a kid at my grandpa's house, minus the whiskey shots and plus the blunts. I didn't drink whiskey till now. The next comment, this is actually, speaking of recent guests, Joel Blazer logged into his account, Living Spiritual Daily here, and left a comment saying, Gobble Gobbling breaks down weed price. Even though there was medication malfunction, this was my favorite podcast ever. Thanks, Gobby. I wanted to highlight this comment because, listen, dude, Joel, the first 2 hours of that episode, it was a 4-hour show. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it right now. Last week's episode is unbelievable. The first 2 hours are amazing. Joel is a LSD dealer who was also a huge deadhead, really involved in the Grateful Dead scene, went to prison, ended up doing years in Supermax at USP Marion, was a part of the SEI Talladega riots. Really fascinating guy. He ate an edible before the show and just got lost in the fucking sauce. Absolutely dazed and confused. So medication malfunction is actually that's my favorite way to word that. I love it, dude. It was a medication malfunction. That's all it was. That was an amazing episode, and you guys need to go watch it. And honestly, when he refers to me breaking down price, I have no idea what he's talking about. But honestly, Joel is such a trip. I generally just have no idea what he's talking about. So go watch the episode. It's amazing. Next up here, Freaky Frap. He says, please get Charlie Sheen on the podcast. Yo, I have definitely a bucket list of guests. I won't put them in any specific order, but I'll name a few. Charlie Sheen is definitely one of my bucket list guests. Hunter Biden is another one of my bucket list guests. When I saw Channel 5 got that, I was like, damn it, dude. Like, that's like, if you see like I don't even know what to compare it to. It hits so deeply. It's like I got shot in the chest when I saw that interview. I was like, fuck, dude. That was the one interview like I wanted to get so bad. Like I wanted that one first. It's my dream interview, the breaking, crack smoking Hunter Biden fucking interview, dude. Maybe even bring Charlie Sheen on for a two-piece. Who knows? I don't know. But Charlie Sheen, Hunter Biden are very, very high up on my list. I really want to interview some of the OG, like, acid guys, you know? William Picard, I don't know if I said his last name right. Fascinating guy. He wrote a book recently. He got granted clemency, but he was like an OG. It's alleged that this guy was at one point responsible for up to 95% of LSD production globally, like all over the world. They were making it out of missile silos here in the U.S., you know? Unbelievable story. Those are probably three that like I really want on the show. I could keep rambling about that, but we'd be here all day. There's a lot of people I'd love to interview. Those are like probably pretty high up, my top three. Next up, we have a hate comment, dude. Ernst Worklich says he actually left this he commented on the episode of me and Kyle, Crackheads, the pilot episode 1, the one that we put on this channel. Why are people watching a fat dude and a polytox junkie? When I see the fat dude, it depresses me. And then the crack junkie's like the cherry on top of the sadness muffin. I'm not going to lie. That's probably one of my, that was a pretty banger hate comment, dude. I mean, I don't know. This guy doesn't even have a preference, though. It's like, all right, you can hate the fat guy, but then like, do you not fuck with the thin guy either? Like, what does he even want there? You know? I don't know. I mean, I think also people who watch me, you know, they're probably not here because they want to me, so they probably don't care if I'm a little wide or anything, you know. Next up, we have coming up in the world. He wants to know, I want to know where to get an ounce for $50. Only gas, dude. I can't say the end of the URL, but you could probably guess that, dude. You could probably maybe ask Google about that, you know. And last but not least is a comment that actually kind of reiterates what I said earlier. Black Acid Gaming says, Orson is by far the best guest you've had. Most guests make Goblin the more interesting character, but I could listen to Orson speak all day. He's like a wise sage. First and foremost, I agree with you. I think like I don't think it's fair for me to say like I have a favorite guest because honestly, I only invite people on the show if I think they're going to be great on the show, and I believe I'm pretty flawless in that belief. You know, when I think someone's going to be good on the show, it pretty much always translates to an awesome episode. So I don't have any like specific, this is my favorite guest ever. But, like, Orson was one of the most enjoyable episodes I filmed for sure. The one with Joel I just did was a complete trip. RXK Nephew is one of my favorites of all time. Lush was a banger. Jacob Jones was amazing. I mean, just all those episodes immediately come to mind. Raw G was fucking awesome, chilling out in the woods. All those guests. But Orson was a very unique one. A lot of the other guests on this show probably have a lot in common. Orson, I think, is in a way the most disconnected from our usual that we've ever had on the show. And I definitely, hey, listen, if you guys got a cool ass uncle or grandpa, you know, Orson style, bang my fucking line, I probably want to talk to that guy. But listen, drop a comment below, share your thoughts on this week's episode, tell me what you've been up to, talk about whatever you want down there. I don't really care because I'm reading comments on the show now, so buckle up for that. I'm going to read your comments right here on the show. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's caller episode. Make sure to drop a like if you did and subscribe if you haven't already, as well as go tap in on Spotify because Spotify is completely uncensored. I'd also like to give a quick shout out to my friends at iBay Hash. You can check them out. Type them in on Google. You probably know where to find them. But I've been really enjoying this stuff, and I've got it here on the table because I want to tell you that you should enjoy it as well, and it's very fire. So shout out to iBay Hash. You should know what to do with that info. I'll see you all in the next one. Deuces.